Welcome everyone. Unfortunately, the Hornet 220 is beyond repair after its last crash. The good news is that I have a new 5-inch frame design to try out that I call the Sting 180. So today we're going to cut it out on the CNC machine and start the build process. Hope you enjoy. Now that all the parts are cut out for the Sting, it's time to do a little sanding and clean up the edges. I just finished cleaning up all the parts and I decided to do a quick test fit. Everything's fitting together very nicely. Here's a little sneak peek of what the frame looks like. So now it's time to start mounting on the electronics and wiring everything up. So let's get on with the build. To begin, I'm going to mount the motors to the arms, and I've already got the ESCs wired up to the motors because these came off of a previous build, so that should help to speed things up a little bit. So let's get started. Also, we're going to be using these little supports to hold the ESC vertically underneath the arm. So when we get to that part, I'll show you that in more detail. And that's one arm mounted with the ESC and the motor. So as you can see, the little spacer there, that little U-shaped piece, that keeps the ESC standing vertical on the bottom, just give it a nice aerodynamic profile. Time to move on to the other motors. Now, I'm going to be putting some LEDs onto the back two motors. So here are the back motors, and here are the strips of LEDs that I'm going to put on. They're addressable LEDs, so we're going to have to wire them up with the 5 volts ground and the signal. Okay, so I have the first arm completed with the LEDs going around the arm. Now I'm gonna do the other one. Alright, that's 2 arms completed with LEDs on them. This should look pretty cool on the copter. Now let's get the main part of the frame assembled. Before I assemble the main part of the frame, I'm gonna take this bottom plate here and put some foam and give it a little bit of cushion for where the battery is gonna sit. Okay, so now I've added a little bit of foam down at the bottom to help protect the battery, give it a little cushion. Now we're gonna assemble the copter. Start here, taking the long 20mm screws. Those will be on the inside, and the shorter 12mm screws will be on the outside here. Alright, so now the main part of the frame is assembled. Got all the arms together. And these are the back arms, these are the front arms. And as you can see, I've got the wires here that are coming out of the motors coming onto the inside portion here, so that if we have a crash in the front, that these wires will not get pinched if we have something, say, hit here. And so I think it's much harder for these wires to get damaged if they're here on the inside, on the sides of the copter. So next, we're going to take our RROSD, and we're going to be mounting this straight down on the bottom here. But to make sure that it doesn't short out against the carbon fiber, we're going to be putting some electrical tape over the entire bottom of this RROSD. Okay, and we'll just do a quick check to make sure that nothing is shorting against the frame. Everything looks good. All right, now we have the RROSD mounted onto the Sting, and now it's time to start wiring up our positive and negative wires from our ESCs. Now all the ESC power is wired. I'm gonna check for any shorts. Make sure grounds are ground and that there's no connection to positive. That looks good. And then we will have XC60 here that has power that goes there. So we're going to be adding this low ESR capacitor. This is a 1000 microfarad low ESR capacitor. We're going to add this to the main power to help smooth out the power and help avoid any power spikes that may cause damage to our electronics. So now we have the capacitor installed with the XT60 and the wires cut to length, and we're going to solder them up to the RROSD. Oh, a short check looks good. Plugging the battery for the first time. Alright, well, that's all for today. Today we got the motors, ESCs, and power distribution board all wired up. Next time we will move on to getting the FPV system, the flight controller, all wired up and ready to go. So I think we made some good progress so far. If you enjoyed, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you next time. Happy flying.